Good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Let's see, do I still have some local data here? No. Oh, no, it just hasn't noticed yet. Haven't gotten to the API that I'm live. All right, so I remembered that in other apps that were centralizing error handling so we could deal with the unauthenticated things. We've got a need some kind of login prompt. There's still some stuff to do, and I've also been thinking that I probably am going to have to switch these over to a local copy of the new library. Just because I just want to get things published and start kind of testing them out. Or before things actually fully switch over. Film JSON that goes away. I think the date strings have to come in. Which the compiler will probably tell me about that. Yeah, ISO. Okay, and now we actually have the argument change. All of the authentications become not maybes. Okay, so the application still has a maybe, but here we pass all these down. Switch library for now. Oh. Ah, okay, so also we're not logged in, so actually it was just kind of failing there. So this is where we need the login screen. So this, maybe I was testing that logged in state. Well, this would actually be a good time to possibly test. Well, the error mode is if it becomes unauthenticated. Maybe we can force that. What was I doing in the other apps? I can tweak this, move some stuff around. So we did some kind of central error message. HTTP error. All right, so these are all of the requests. Did that before all of the requests. Now, I guess I should do a quick check. Any of the do anything special? Channel stream did. Then we loop. Now, these end up going to particular requests where we do not necessarily have to put that. Also, we've already got a generic response here. That one did not have a generic response. So what would that look like if we were able to convert it? So right now, that's a function takes the result, wrap it in that response, then run the actual message, and then put it through the response handler. If response took the possibly failed result, well, it would have to take a function to apply to the resulting maybe whatever, get a message. Or we have like some sort of wrapper function which would result map the result to the message and then response of result. Ah. Okay, you know what? The way we want to handle this. Well, if it's a oh, this only comes in on yeah, HTTP response. So we've already got a function here that's filling a similar purpose. See, it's doing question flight management. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. So HTTP. So if we did a separate thing for errors, we'd have to handle that. So that would have to be response of. That would have to handle this case. Response of OK submessage, response of error. And all of the errors would have to decrement the outstanding requests. Yeah, so right now we handle the errors down here. And then this always does the decrement and X status, even if it was an error. So I probably don't want to handle them all at once because I would have to start getting some of this stuff. The HTTP response does give me a place to wrap this around everything. So actually, I could maybe start there. Well, I could maybe start with a wrapper function. Fetch, 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 fetch. This is not direct HTTP. All right, so the interim version of this would just be to replace message be to apply. This is called success. Not quite there yet. Then we can go through all of these. Fonts. I could sort of do this. Yay. I don't have anything scheduled for that. I kind of drifted out of it at some point. So it kind of depends on when there's mod maintenance or other things. I don't know if I ever like identified a definite thing that changed. I used to do a lot of mods. I still maintain if there's a problem, but I don't go around proactively checking them a lot. I do able gamers because that got going while I was still more active, and it's a good cause. I'm actually not. I don't know anybody else that really understands all the stuff I built because I built it for me. Originally, they wanted the mod. And they're like, "Hey, how about you just do it?" And then all the rest of it kind of got built just to make my job easier. So I'll do it from time to time, but unfortunately, it's not going to be a very regular thing. I could actually construct a thing for that. I don't need to yet. Okay, so I think that ought to come. Oh, because I typed that differently. Fonts. This signature has to be a little bit different. But technically, you're right now, there's going to be a result. Uh, Okay. Any other baby steps I can? Got this converted. We have to add the message, we have to make the handler for the message, and then take out all the other error handlers. I don't know that any of that can be done independently. Well, I guess I could throw out the errors and not write the error handler. Although that call wants to produce a message. There's a none. Yeah, some people can get really enthusiastic. It's kind of a place I've settled and not really set aside time to learn new languages. Working out pretty well. There are definitely things that can be frustrating at times. All right, so if we do HTTP response, I guess I could redirect errors here and then still pass the entire result. But let me get the error handler. Okay, da. This? Now, success is not going to be a value right now. It's going to be a... We convert everything else over. All right, so you're there. Oh, I had a logout method here. Oh, okay. Logout is a whole model reset. This is going to be a different model, though. So this is going to be a little bit like our init function. There's model. All right, so if you log out, that's probably fine to keep. Wait, so this was credits. Might be fine to only do a minor update here. I mean, it's like stuff can't be refreshed. Screenshots. So we need to... set the auth. Probably want to reset pending. Time is fine. Well, I think I did this explicitly just so I would have to think about any new fields if I had new fields. That's probably fine. That would have been... Well, you can't actually do that. You can't do any API requests. We want to disconnect from ARC. Now, is that a thing where we go directly to disconnected, or do we need to do some intermediate stuff to log out? Connected, rejected, connecting, parting. Joined channel, channel not equal to target. Yeah, I need a method for that. So I'm gonna do that for now. I have to look at it again. Pending, 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 outstanding. I mean, there might technically be outstanding requests. And I don't have negative number protection on that now. Probably fine. Model.time. Model.zone. That'll be fine. Log out model. Model.model. Oh, psh. Here was my log out before. All right. So where is HTTP error? Not sure if I can actually trigger anything on that. I guess we could fake the result. Okay, I did not in fact try to send anything. We can HTTP error. We have to do a specific thing. Bad status. But actually, we have to do that. Oops. All right, so just in case it does anything on login, okay. Fetch auth error, we are back in the logout state. Now that we've done that, we can convert this to value, this back to of A, take all of our messages and reduce them to just their success value. And then we have to fix all of those. That would be most of the errors. So this one, oh, we did much stuff. Okay. What the? I didn't do that much stuff. A number or something? Was actually something we did there. Oh. I was actually turning that. Well, no, I guess it was a result of kind before. Actually, are you? You actually come through HTTP? You might not have been a HTTP error. Or did, yeah, JSON decode that error. I got a little too crazy there. Oh, so actually you would be here. And we have to make our error again. Actually, wait, there's two cases. It's not quite. Got none. I still have to remove all the OKs from stuff because it's not results anymore. That still is. All right. All right, and we are compilable again. So I think that's all the steps for central error handling. The only thing we have left is, what is it, channel streams? Channel stream. Specific error handling. Which I have to special case that one all the way through. Right, notes, central error handling. Change the format of import. Okay, so before login was optional, so this sort of went with that because the old option for that used to. Oh no, that was a UI thing. Maybe that's only available when logged in. Yeah, host on channel. But there's no way to actually clear it. So incapable doesn't matter much. Wait, that was a bad status 400. Oh, I also want to have a thing to not log in at all. That forced the log out, so that didn't. I'm not sure that that unsubscribed me. Da, 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 da. Why did a bad status? That change? Oh, I put log out on both of them. Histable. That. Oh, that never terminated. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if it's because it's blank or there's something else. It fills that back in. I mean, an explicit delete would still be good, but I want to know why that happened. We ever? Maybe we only updated on response? Because that's an append. Fetch channel. Back on channel. Okay, so this is where it updates it after if it's successful. And that's actually an error in that case, not a. Not found. Well, yeah, an explicit delete will do it. I guess he just never. Let's see, does that? Yeah, I think the point of that is to turn off host tracking and. And maybe can. I think we maybe convert this to like Elm UI, but that's a big project. All right, so button. We got a button hand. Is that auth enabled? You don't particularly care about that. And we don't have a handler for it. So every message has to be handled. So the types of things that this would update would actually be where it comes back on channel. Hey, Threndy, how's it going? Still several of them. And then I need to check the stream status. I'm going through all of my essentially Twitch front-end only apps, making them require login and fixing up all the related error handling by, and sometimes there's just some stuff I hadn't gotten around to. I want to catch up at the same time. But this is all kind of the domino effect of required login, either directly or indirectly. That's going to persist stuff. This particular app is a thing that I use to keep track of streams that I find interesting, but don't necessarily want like all the live notices and recent videos list versus other things that I would actually go and watch at any given time. That's unknown. Do we have other? I have done paid work in Elm. Most of my stuff has been on my own. Unknown offline hosting live. So unknown's probably a fine state for that. I mean, it seems to be pretty good. It's still in evolution. I mean, like there used to be standard WebSocket library, and now there's not. When they changed major language versions, they said, yeah, we want to rethink that. So you could just go back and use the old version if you really needed that. I'm doing some stuff with my own little version of it, which is a useful exercise. I mean, otherwise, and it's getting faster all the time. Error messages are getting better all the time. There's some people doing some interesting stuff in it. It's still an extremely strict ecosystem. I think it pretty much follows like semantic versioning. Lately, it's been pretty minor changes. elmlang.org. I don't remember which one was actually the well, yeah, any major update is generally going to be a problem for libraries. Like, and at 19, they made it's like for actual programs, it wasn't bad doing the updates unless you use WebSockets. And I made a little app in Elm that like looked at the JSON file, looked at the package repository, said this is available, this isn't available. To wait for a few things, but it was enough of a change for them on the back end that the package repository did not list the docs for previous versions. Now people ended up putting up mirrors of the old one and stuff, but it was a little rough if you needed to be working on some old stuff after the new one. Upgrade guide here. Release notes. Yeah, so this is all about the speed upgrade updates. Oh, well, it's probably in here somewhere, but they reorganized it since that blog post. Yeah, compiler. Well, maybe it went into like docs or maybe a different docs. Upgrade instructions. So this changed from like Elm dash make to one Elm binary. So that would affect your build scripts. It was either 18 or 19 completely redid the project files. So yeah, some return types changed. You used toString a lot. Now it's a debug thing, which can affect your ability to do production builds with it. A few functions renamed. The modules got moved out to separate modules instead of being sort of built-in stuff. Actually, a lot of the core packages moved. Other things renamed. Browser got reworked. A few basic functional things got removed. But I mean, in practice, this wasn't too bad. You searched for these things and replaced them. There are upgrade scripts. I usually like to go through it personally just so I kind of understand the changes and can make any sort of, domino effects of that. Okay, I mean, these things shouldn't have been very common. This would have been a big deal for certain people. Some of the previous updates were a lot bigger. Like I got in like right after a major paradigm change in terms of message handling. So that would have been a bigger deal. You had pre-existing code at that time. Yeah, it's got some interesting ideas from what I understand. Um, not React per se, although the functional view thing is sort of similar. That Redux, I think, is a sort of an implementation of the same programming model. Well, the problem is you got packages that define lots of crazy operators, and sometimes they define the same operators. Actually, and there's a document there. Operator meaning, Haskell operators, invented operators, which kind of crazy. And my one quibble with this is that, as with many things in the language, you can custom operators aren't gone. If we go into system packages, not URL. I don't think URL does do it. Builder probably specifically. No, okay. Parser. Yeah, so like URL parser, the parser package, there's still custom operators, but only the blessed operating system packages can use them. Us mere mortals can't. And a lot of things are like that. Like that applies to native code, with their or kernel code for the JavaScript interop. It used to be, unofficial but possible to write kernel code if you wanted to do an escape hatch to something. Like I did a binding to a crypto library once because they were pretty much functional, data in, data out. But they're like, we might want to retarget the environment later, so we don't want to have that code out there. So it's like only packages in certain repositories can use it, and it's like I understand their reasoning, but not having any escape hatch, it's they have a very, I don't know, I guess it's kind of benevolent dictator, but it's the designer is caring about, his vision for the long term sense of the language. That may turn out good. You don't have that incompatible code around, but he doesn't care about your productivity right now. If you're relying on WebSockets, tough luck. If you're relying on native code, tough luck. You can stay on an old version, maybe. And then you've got the exceptionalism. With they're still using operators. Well, like I know with kernel code, it was well just use ports, and I'm like, okay, if ports are so great, why doesn't the core library use them? Or things like HTTP requests. If you're a beginner, HTTP requests are one of the things you're going to encounter early on. And then if you go to make your own library, it's like, okay, this is how Elm does things, and you will find you cannot do things the way the HTTP package does it. It's like managing state behind the scenes, and you can't do that. Similarly, if you try to do ports, you can't do anything like a subscription. You can't do a socket library that works like the old WebSocket library used to. So yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like I appreciate that the language is simple, and there's not a lot of ways to do things, so you don't have to sort of agonize about which way to do it. And then it bothers me that the core library has some other ways to do things, and you can't emulate the core language packages when you're solving your own problems. And I think the argument there is that, well, yeah, but this just makes like HTTP a lot easier to use, but it's not sort of setting people up on how to solve their own problems. All right, so we got as far as the button. This might actually be set up. I should just hit save. Missing possibilities, so that should be incoming. Okay, so that was using... this was actually... Yeah, I think that they pretty much said, okay, we're going to pick those couple of cases, and we're going to do those in system libraries where we can do the special magical things. But you mere mortals, no, you can't do it. And it almost becomes like part of the language versus a library, even though it's technically a library, but it's blessed libraries. Okay, so that removes it there. Is there like a boot up process that replaces it? Yes, there is. Ah, yeah. Although I know a lot of the Elm community actually is actually around Slack, and I've never gotten too much into Slack. Yeah, Elm specifically tries to avoid JavaScript interop, to try and make it so at least an area of it is safe. If you go out to ports, you're accepting those problems. Ooh, yeah, that's really small. Yeah, I think when I first looked at Elm, the package repository was like a manually maintained, list of a couple dozen things on the Elm lang page. And then by the time I came back, you had the package repository browser. All right, so where are we filling this in? Let's just... just okay. So on update loaded. That might have been to upgrade from things that didn't have it. But essentially, we would just set this to the saved state, not force to reload there. Not accomplished logout. Oh, nope. There's still something in there. Okay. When we fetch self, if it's nothing, we probably did the same thing on startup and on first login. Hmm. Oh, that's fetch channel, which goes down to here. But self is setting auth login. Is that the only one that's doing it? Channel response, that removes it. Does just. Only if it's there. Okay, so the self request, we always do on startup, update our information. So I might need more than a maybe here. Unfortunately, that kind of goes all the way down to this state. Well, I guess, so we always fetch on startup. Where do we... login is technically an auth redirect, so it is effectively like a page load. Can we tell if we've gotten the auth to... we can. That's in init is not where we were seeing... But we could set this to, like, unknown, but we want to... but we expect to be filling it in. Versus explicitly not known. That doesn't necessarily get represented in our state here. And that's going to make turn into a more complicated thing. So I might have to have a way to save that out. I might be able to do it just on whether we went through an auth loop. Wrongly typed languages for the front end. Oh, might be. I mean, there's a couple functional things. Uh, Forgetting what it is. Like pure script or something that's a little bit more intertwined with um, or interoperates with JavaScript more easily. And it might be partly that the environment is so dynamic, you don't get people thinking that way much. And I guess TypeScript probably has more people thinking that way. But yeah, the environment is very, very dynamic. All right, well, I got to chat while we're waiting here. All right, so I know got connection status. We've got his connection status. Wasn't there an unknown? Is that from something else? Channel status. Oh, I might have that in the view so I can use it. In fact, I can share it without having to do a whole separate model module. Yeah. Auto host status, separate from which channel? I've already got host on. Although that might not be a syntax collision because of different namespaces. And that can be, well, it can't be unknown. So we have our startup state. We have our, if we are expecting to get auth, we have our state when it has been explicitly set. And we have our state when it has been explicitly unset. So if we have auth, or if we have an auth string coming in on a page load, or if we're in a login loop, then we fetch that one by default, and it can be set later. It can be set to there. I should do this. Or we can explicitly say we want nothing. And we use it twice. It's currently a maybe, so that's going to have to get a little bit more verbose. is going to be name. So I guess that switch can technically be independent of whether we know who yet. And then we'll need something similar for our other one down here. At least I'll have to go into the model because that's going to be a maybe that's not going to be happy. Hostable auto channel is a maybe string is a this starts out as depends on auth. Not just it's host. No, yeah, auth is a maybe. And nothing is going to be oh, I need a case for not yet known, but we want to load it. Because that's either host on this or explicitly disabled. Right? Hmm. Maybe that works. On log out. I go back to nothing. We continue to save that because it's the persisted value. I guess if you logged in as somebody else, it could get weird. That is normally a thing that you save. All right, loaded state.autochannel. That thing's I don't even use this. Okay, this is on self. Fetch user.login. So that's you. If it was explicitly set to something else, go ahead and fetch the stream for. Oh, you took a maybe. Might want to revisit that. Then if channel comes in, I think we only use this to fetch that thing. But there's fetch channel stream. Yeah, so it must have just called that that variable auto login. Remove, so that's going to be host nothing. That's going to affect our serialize too. Oh, there are cases down here. Oh, that's going to make this a little bit messier. That's all we really care about is we have a channeler. Pull auto channel. Yeah, okay, so that was the thing we pulled out. And where do we persist? Save state, auto channel. Channel, and then okay. Oh, we got an extra parenthesis there. This is in the view. That'd be an extra parenthesis again. Right, that has to be exposed from the view. And then imported into Mostable as our main module. Auth channel. Auto channel. Too many auth updates lately. Oh. I guess because one of these were wildcard. We technically had to handle that. Even though, right, we weren't covering some combination. Oh, no. Shoot, these were explicitly nothings before, which was a little bit different. That's logged in. This is joining and joined nothing. Either I have to duplicate these three cases, or I have to map that to a maybe for this purpose. That's going to get too big. And then these go back to just... Yeah, as nice as it is to be explicit, this just kind of really blows up bad if you have to do all these cases where it's just, we don't have a channel. Did auth channel again? How many auth updates? We missed one. Nothing host on. Okay, so in theory, now represent the state. Oh. Okay. So that already worked. Oh. That we're capable of having one, but we're not showing it. Auto host status equals incapable. So something else is doing that. Probably we're incapable unless we successfully found the channel. That's subscriptions. Channel stream. Just pending, it goes to enabled. That's host pending. Channel status. It doesn't affect the channel. Huh. It's not even a third-party library. I mean, people kind of have them out there, but because they require some kind of JavaScript interop, they can't be published in the main package repository. So it's like, people have them out there as maybe Git projects or gists. It's not in the standard package system because it can't be. I basically wrote my own as an exercise. I wouldn't say native, no. Anything, I mean, you can do it with ports, and if you want to do, like, in previous versions, a um, a viewless application running in Node actually hooks up to WebSockets via ports pretty nicely. And then if you're just handling messages, the in out is okay. Yeah. I mean, the hard thing about doing WebSockets yourself is sort of connection management. And as I said, there are, if you like search around, I know there was at least one on the discourse. Uh, and probably if you like search GitHub or something. There might have been some responses here. Phoenix WebSocket. So they may have an implementation specific across Phoenix WebSocket client. There's a JavaScript library you could port over to. '18 client to Elm. There's native card and the effects. Oh yeah, it might be interesting to look at this for reference sometime to see if there's anything obvious in update in mind. Wait, it's actually in official packages? I didn't think you could publish ports. Yeah, this might be one of those blessed packages that they do every. Or this is Elm 18. It has an Elm.json. I think that's 19. Yeah. Or maybe it says, okay, provide these functions that happen to be ports. We don't actually include ports. Usually copy this into your application source directory. Modified as port module, yeah. Well, okay, yeah, closed code. I never got, I didn't get into that. Yes, this might all be just like the Elm side support. WebSocket.elm, which is not a port module. Kernel messages. Okay. Okay, so port funnels.elm is the port module that you have to copy into your project. Just go here and get it. So it's like you can kind of find it. It's a non-trivial number of things. Yeah, so it might be interesting to look this over sometime to see how he handled it. I had a pretty lightweight interface, and I sort of have another thing I built on top of that to do a little bit of connection management, but it's still, I suspect this is going to be way more well tested than my little hack. So yeah, you can find people who've done it. It's just not, it used to be like almost dirt simple, although it had a couple little gotchas. Like if you ever tried to connect to the wrong address for something, there was no way to stop the application from trying to do the reconnect to that, except to just reload the page. So it had its issues, but it was easy to use. I need, this is the checkbox. That really shouldn't be doing it. And thank for the follow. How'd you like me, you like listening to me rant about Elm? Auto-enabled. Well, it's not auto-enabled. Capable and capable. Null stream. If it's pending, we update it. We shouldn't have even fetched channel stream. Just to confirm this. Yeah, so it's listed as incapable. It certainly needs a name to do that. But I'm not sure where this gets set. Ah. Yeah, I kept hearing some buzz about it between like, I had time I was listening to like a Ruby podcast and a JavaScript podcast, and somewhere between those things people were talking about it regularly. So of all the things I could try, it kind of rose up there. I know some people like use it with like Elixir, but I'm the kind of person who kind of wants to go learn a little bit of Erlang first, so I understand the base. And Erlang seems to have built up a little bit of sort of project management stuff that makes it a little bit harder to get into. I was hoping. Well, I tried to do a little CORS redirector because I was like, oh yeah, Erlang messages. Yeah. But some apps need a backend. Like one of my Twitch apps is designed to be used by anonymous users. So there's just no room for a front end only app to log in. So it's either some kind of server, which might be might be able to do some very simple, like like API gateway or Lambda thing. I don't want to run a full-fledged server for it, but maybe if I want to like do some request caching. Or some more, well, I guess Lambda could still do some repackaging of the API stuff. For I am out of water, so I'm going to take a break. Be back in a few. Go there. And we could probably fly down there. Yep. I'm bumping my head against the ceiling so it counts me as walking.
Guys hurt. Guys, I got to give a shout out. Man, if my fingers would just work right now. Shout out. I am just like so wow. If you guys, oh gosh, that doesn't work. Don't know who Milton T. Pike is, please go over and check him out. He is hilarious. You will instantly fall in love and be inspired. All streamers should just so wish to be like that. He is just so.
My first rocket will contain an explorer, the drone, and the stuff needs to get a small start. The second rocket will launch pretty soon after, containing the transport and the command rover, and more stuff that I need, typically polymers, machine parts, and electronics. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Oh no, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins? Are you kidding? Are you being attacked by Julie Andrews seriously right now? Why are you complaining about Julie Andrews? She's a great actress and a treasure to the entire world. The hills are alive with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. Why did everybody get so quiet?
That was awkward.
No, stop singing.
My
Go
heart
back
wants to
audio
sing.
mixing.
Oh, Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Welcome back. Maybe we're hitting next toast? That's only if it's auto-enabled. We don't even have the checkbox on. That would be only if it equals pending. That's only if we hit the checkbox. Okay, and go this is disabled if we join the chat room, but if we're incapable, we shouldn't be joining the chat room. This might be time for the debugger. All right, so Vim doesn't want to change things while they're being executed. Okay, well that didn't work out. Oh, I've probably got a shell script in here. As well as the bat. Although this is the shell that runs that just fine. Okay. So we start off with, this is auto host status, incapable. Right, exactly. It should never change. It's not disabled. Incapable because we don't have a channel to host. Yeah, the resume isn't working so. So what? Yep. Change it first. So our view does that based on incapable. Incapable because we don't have a name. But we have to be able to set that to make it capable. So I might have to look at what else goes into that and use the other side of it just for that purpose. The channel status, well, yeah, that's not relevant. We did auto host enabled. That's auto host status. That's the checkbox. If we've logged in, which means we've got a, the circular reasoning. If we have auth, I think is what it comes to. Okay, so now we can do that. And yeah, so that should be disabled. I'm not going to have authority to, I don't actually want to hit that while I'm live, even though it should not. Should be smart enough to do that. So now it joined a room. If we reload that, remembers it. If we do that, remembers it. If we change it to blah, 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 it can't find it. Yeah, I can find it. Won't do anything while I'm live. Well, and that's not enabled. We reload. It keeps it. And then that will make it log out of chat. Okay, so it logged out and never logged in. I want to do more for disabled controls, but I don't know if I want to hide that that's possible. All right, this goes into our notes. Oh, that actually sort of indirectly covers chat logout. I mean, that means removing the setting, but it works. Big thing we need is that this app, if you're not logged in, it really somehow default to a login page. Or something. Oh, I left my view in there. So at that point, you could still fix that. Can't delete from. I guess I fixed that already? Or does it not work? Ah, okay, it doesn't work. Oh, all right, that should be hopefully a quick thing. How do we structure that? Header view, application item, live streams view. Channels view. Channel view. Button, remove channel user.id. Maybe dot map. Okay. And what does is make persisted false? I have to be logged in to see live stream. Oh. Okay, so it does not remove it immediately. It made it look like a user we had information about. Right, so these are only live streams. It probably only fetches the definite ones. Then the channels list was not using that. Refresh? Yeah, filter to true. Then in the view, we probably went through all of them. Dict.toList, sort by, okay. So somewhere in here, we could do this in the dict, or we could do this in the list. I guess we've already got the line for that. And that reset this. I don't need chat on right now. Right, we haven't added anything. Do from here. we go. All right, so the part of the point was we add a channel, log out. We can still manage channels, even though we can't do anything with them. But you don't want to shut off the entire app. Still manage games. Still manage tags. I didn't have any. With any data that had not been already fetched. Probably this default tab would want to switch out to a login, or we just want to change our unauth view to here as our default. It doesn't quite do the effect of, hey, you have to log in to really do anything here. Although we could perhaps do a little bit more UI to make that more obvious. So those are theoretically used. Do I want to send you here in a unlogged in view? You wouldn't really do anything here. You like just open, except login. Probably I just need to have a bigger login prompt here. I've had similar versions of that in other apps. Now you're in HTML. Oh wait, there's column. Element, yeah, that's actually UI. I have a version of this that's already in straight up H. Okay, so you might be. Nope, wrong window, wrong monitor. Display login. And that gets used in two places. Now that actually gets used for a temporary screen. Well, actually, this is already kind of doing Base model.login. Right, so this is used in two places. We're only really using the nothing case in this purpose. This case, this actually isn't that much. It might be some of the surrounding stuff that had like the centering and things. Live streams view. That goes to there. Probably we want to, oop. Forgot to copy properly. Okay, so we've got that. Got you. Okay, so this is probably where we have a separate style. No hosts. Yeah, this is where we were doing that stuff. That's probably like the frame. Yeah. Frame of it. I probably do want to pull this out. Okay, so I've already got a display login. Which that's model auth, and this is the model nothing. That's just text login, and that had the Twitch, which we might want. href, oh yeah, URL for redirect. That takes care of that. Maybe that goes in like a streams or a login view. You take an entire model, which you don't have typed here. All right, so this is from a different application. Yep. Text line center. This is pretty much be the only thing here. We're going to be checking auth up front on this one. So this is actually a little bit of a different use case. Let's actually log in. By login model, I really wish I only go here if we're in that case. Okay, so streams view, live streams view. Auth of login view. Yep. Nope, nope, nope. Did I recompile? Okay, so then we have to see what our styles are like. We do have external style sheet. Frame. What do we do? Okay, the height 100% may have been more peculiar to the other environment. Actually, that's just CSS. He's logging. Please log in. Marriage. All right, I might need some container set up for this to work. Yeah, because it's got all that. Or I need to apply some stuff to this as well. Because I did, in fact, have that before. Oh, and we still have this. Oh, got one of them. No, H1. Yeah, the height 100% isn't doing anything. Possibly that needs some container setup. Barging. Okay. Log out of there. I don't quite like these. Oop. That was fine. Div class login. Yeah, with CSS, we have to be logged out. All right, we are at a point. Yeah, that's sort of what we did. So this is probably disabled, you can't tell. Refresh, you can sort of tell. I think everything else will work. I perhaps do that in CSS only. Auto host controls. So it does have in fact have an ID. Let's make sure we can style it. Let's color, probably background color. Hmm. So it says that is an applied style to the input. Maybe because it's disabled? No. No. Maybe checkboxes aren't stylable. Oh, okay, that's a syntax error. I don't think I can style the outer control based on the inner input. Okay, so the question is, can we style checkbox? Just CSS. Still can't apply styles. Hide the actual text file and replace it with a styled element of your own. Okay. I think buttons can be styled. Let's focus on that one first. I could probably do something with the text, although I don't know if I can do it in CSS only. Div class refresh. I could do a refresh button. Of course, I know I've seen before, right? No. The colored buttons are people using, like, anchors and things? Well, no, that didn't apply. Oh, because you're not disabled right now. All right, so I'd also want to do borders. I don't quite want to do the background color. That would definitely make it disabled. Oh, how wide's the native border? Inherited from body. Is there a thing for native rules? I don't know what that is. Wait. Oh. That logout did not. Oh. Okay. Need to circle back on that. Quick fix for that is log in, clear that, log out. Is computed? Browser styles. Those are very, very precise widths. That might be browser specific. Or maybe that should be disabled color too. Uh, 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 uh. The add channel should be disabled too. It? Yeah, I'm not getting a cursor. Let me know another one. Styles for you. Well, once again, this is an input box. The inputs aren't stylable. You have IDs for that, or stuff for that stuff. Does color affect it? Yeah. We do. Doesn't look that different. And then I have to do something in the view to communicate. That's the disabled property. They're an attribute dot none. I guess I can technically have class blank, can't I? Miscellaneous. Nothing that you'd think it kind of go in miscellaneous. So that's the refresh button. Add channel. Okay, so the checkbox is other thing. Auto host enabled. I guess you could do an if here. And since I'm essentially going to do a wild card. Now I know I saw a checkbox slider replacement that did some sort of, that used the checked property. All right, this is a slideshow. No, that's toggle switch, I guess. Might have actually been the one I found. So we've got switch with a checkbox and a span. Oh, that's right. They were using adjacency rules. So that is indeed a label. It is indeed an adjacent label. The border is going to be specific to the button. Can't do anything to the input boxes themselves. Well, maybe inputs you can. Okay. So what we really want, well, one's before, one's after. Plus label. This is label plus channel name. And this could perhaps be just a checkbox you can't do anything about. Yep. Now label plus. Oh, because it only works on preceding. Styles the secondary element. Huh. General successor sibling. Every one of the previous ones. All of the previous ones. Parent A, parent hover A. Yeah, all previous. That was 13, so not even the latest version of Chrome. 17. Flex order. FlexX is a thing that exists. I think we've actually used a bit of it. Seems a little bit extreme. Or we go back to putting the container class on it. What would that look like? All right, so this doesn't work. We have add channel. Play flex. Does it have any immediate fix up? Yes, it does. Yeah. Play flex, flex direction. Oh, well, we've already got reverse. That would be column reverse. And then we have to change the actual source order. It's a little weird. And then we can do that. Okay, so yep, now enabled and oh, I put that in multiple places, probably because I was copying stuff. That's add channel. What? Oh, maybe add channel, add channel, add channel. Yeah. We have to be logged in to see that. You're back to normal. That should be all the stuff that is invalid in logged out mode. All right, so we were logging into chat when we had no authentication, which, well, while that actually works, ironically enough, that's the word I was looking for, it's not useful. Where's the chat? Current connection ID. Chat connection update. Now you see that's auto channel. It doesn't consider auth at all. Probably login should just clear the auto channel or log out. Well, it's technically a thing we can save. No, you are special thing now. Can it compile already? All right, so we log in. That gets set. Log out. And I don't see a chat log out. Did it not compiled yet? Okay, so it didn't log in. Got you. Or is the problem that it was doing it on reset? Okay, so it was doing it on a reset, which was a problem. That wasn't, and that would affect persist. But it's not immediately logging out. Update with checks. Does this. And then does chat connection update. Which should say, well, connected just. All right, let's verify what's going on here. Okay, so this is not the problem. This is the problem. Okay, so we disconnected, but we didn't tell. Any better visibility into the ports. Okay, so there's connect, close. Press open. Socket closed on us. So maybe I just don't have a report for we closed it. No. No command was sent. UI log out. What was it? IRC connection disconnected. Joined. Port socket.close. Joining, joined, port socket.close. How about you? Disconnected, nothing. Disconnected. Oh, so it's already disconnected. So yeah. Our logout is doing a hard set to disconnected. Which isn't really right, because that's not what we don't have current status versus we don't know our current status outside of that. That suggests that this all needs to send commands in chat. Or I need to have a status that's like, we should disconnect. Now, is that what parting is for? Joined. And let send part. Close if current. This is where, in general, the WebSocket interface. Wait, does this mean that joined nothing could equal issue port socket.close? Oh, so if I just don't mess with this, the reset on, which we weren't doing before, of the other fields, should issue the close for us. WebSocket close, disconnect. Let me put debug here. And into notes. All right, didn't get into a whole lot of just like other features. I probably need to move on to the big, well, I've got some other little things in other apps. We'll need some of those. And we'll need reactor someplace else. And we'll need compiler someplace else. Can I leave that in debug? Nope, that's the wrong app. Yes. Okay. We don't have... Oh. Nope. That shell is completely dead. For who knows why. I have to reconstruct the commit message. Oh, wait. It woke up. Add that up. Log out stuff. I just wanted to do a little bit of reordering here. I also want to check your elm.json. Yes, this was running the local version. Following hosting, subs, bits. Must not be working. Well, I haven't been paying close attention. Stuff. Like today's events. Okay. Nothing today. And some of that is actually chat monitoring, so you only have it at runtime. Okay. I have notes on this. Oh yeah, that I can come. Got an issue. And then I think this one, yeah, actually has the Twitch API update. They should get these things up and testing. Okay, we're going to want to put this into, what is it, show clip false. And post limit. All right, well, that wasn't it. Extract search. Oh, that ended up in the later part of it. No, I don't want the icons. I want the text. Ugh. I just want to edit text.
All right, now I need to get into Iron.
All right, dev mode. L.json. Source. We need to bump you up. There's going to be some problems because that maybe doesn't match. All right. Really all you needed. Uh, all right, so those I can get over, fetch the library, fetch the apps, actually put them up and start testing. But for now, we've got in modified version. Oh, actually, so programming is over. Thanks for watching. You're just here for programming. Oh, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I should do some moving around after sitting around all morning. So I am going to do some step mania. I'm going to have to shut down the stream to change some bitrate settings. I'm going to then need a couple minutes to set up the pads. Want to hang out? I'll be back in a bit. This is when I'm normally on, so sometime around now I'll switch over to step mania. Actually. Also possibly, I don't know, maybe if it's nice enough I'll end up biking down to the grocery store anyway. I'll be back in